By the time this video uploads, we are going to be 4 days removed from the live stream experience, and there is still a lot to take in, and I plan to do a full analysis on my channel within a couple of days. Just need to process a couple more things first, but there is a couple of things that are safe to say. Number one, the Dema storyline is not done. We know that Tyler's struggles and issues with Dema are not done. We know that Nico's master plan is not done. Now, Nico mostly has it. I mean, he has Tyler Joseph within the Dema walls. He has Tyler Joseph under his control. But Nico is missing one crucial element. He is missing one man. The one man is Josh Dunn. A lot of people speculated that this album, Scale Nicely, was going to be the Josh Dunn album. We are going to get some background to his character within the storyline. We are going to figure out how he became a Bandito, how did he become one of the leaders of the Banditos, as well as his relationship with Tyler in the Dema storyline, what made him decide to leave Dema, and what did he do in Dema before becoming one of the Banditos. This was a whole bunch of speculation, and I planned on doing a video on this before Scale Nicely got released. However, I kept putting the video off. I felt as though every time we'd go to record, there was a missing puzzle piece, and I changed the idea at the last moment, and it drove me crazy. And I recently have been finding this puzzle piece the more I listen to Scale Nicely, and the more I watch this live stream, because I believe that the song No Chances is directly for Josh Dunn, and Josh Dunn could be a bishop, and that bishop is Keons. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this. How's it going, guys? First off, I hope you're having a fantastic day out there today, whether you're watching this in the morning, afternoon, or night. I hope you're having a fantastic day today and hope it continues to go well. Anyway, let's get right into this theory. This is the Josh is Keons theory. As mentioned at the very start of this video, I plan to do a full analysis of the live stream experience in a couple of days on the channel. However, here are some of my thoughts and so a little bit of spoilers for that video. So I highly think that everything that went on in the live stream experience from the very start to the very end, all that middle bit, when Tyler was out of the interview room, I believe that was all within Tyler's imagination, whether that be through flashbacks or whether for dreams Tyler has his imagination just going all over the place. And it all ends where it starts, in the Good Day Dema set, as when Tyler's singing Choker. And he sounds so broken when he's singing the final verse of Choker. I know it's over, I was born a choker, nobody's coming for me, as if the Banditos have forgotten about him, and Tyler has lost all hope. So, if you look through this lens, you have to wonder, where was Josh in all this? Of course, Josh was performing with Tyler, but that is a complete shoot. I'm talking about the kayfabe sense of where was he in the storyline. So, since no one went to go save Tyler, what I highly believe is that Josh is still planning Tyler's escape. Josh is planning the end game, if you will. He's planning the complete end of Vialism, the complete end of Dema, the complete end of Nico. Because you see, Nico is in charge of this whole operation. While I was on my sound job earlier today, I had the opportunity to go on Twitter for a couple of moments here and there, and I was having a conversation with bestie Ty, and Ty pointed this out. Someone mentioned how Liston and Sakarver might be controlled by Nico, how Nico might be controlling the force over Dema, since it's also Nico and the Niners. Might be the reason for them getting more beat up during the live stream. He wasn't pleased with their performance. Ty continues, I wonder if Nico is using trash to beat up Lispen and Sakarver, since Nico is known to be ruthless. His light was blinking before the start of the live stream. Lispen and Sakarver had burn marks on their clothes like the mask from Shy Away, which is pretty interesting. And bestie Ava then joins in the conversation as well by pointing out their eyes are also similar to apparently what happens when your eyes are exposed to fire. Someone mentioned Anakin's eyes and that similarity, to which we can see Anakin's eyes from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, and indeed, their eyes look a lot similar. And you've definitely noticed this if you watch the live stream experience as well. Of course, when they do their first infomercial for this Scale Nicely album, they're perfectly fine, but then when they return after Shy Away, these start to look more and more beat up. Like Sakarva right here has a little blood stain right on her scarf. Her makeup looks like it's starting to run, her hair looks a little bit more messed up here. And if we look at Liston, he also has blood on his sweater, and it looks like he got punched in the nose. He has blood coming out of his left nostril. Of course, his hair is not really messed up because he kind of has no hair. In a shot where he turns to the side, you can also see that he has a bruise on his right cheek as well. And then when they come back after Heavy Dirty Soul, of course, they look way worse. Like, just look at them, and like even look at Leston's shirt. Like, it does have the burn marks on there, and those burn marks really get shown right under his sweater, like the holes as though you've lit in a match and it accidentally gets burned through your shirt. You can even notice on the collar of his shirt underneath of his sweater. And of course, once the image is still up on the screen, of course, we should point out his eyes, the very, very bloodshot eyes that are like Anakin's in Revenge of the Sith. You see that there is blood now in his glasses. He now has like this little soot mark right on his chin, as well as this cut at the very top of his head. And then if we move over to Sick Carver, and this is your little nightmare warning. I think this is slightly more nightmare than nightmare trash. I think this is just down to that the hair is now way more messed up. The bloodshot eyes, the makeup is slightly going crazy, especially her lipstick. And then you also see the burn mark at the very top of her head as well. Her scarf also has burn and soot marks as well. Then she holds up her hands, and a few moments later, and you can see that she has some blood on her right hand as well. And so, like, that theory of Nico in trash beating them up because they're not pleased with their performance, and Nico eventually gets sick out of it and then releases trash on them, definitely looks like there's some weight to be held there. So Nico is definitely in charge of all this ruthless leader that has an iron fist on Dema. But we've been talking about Nico and his control this whole time. What about Josh? How is any of this connected to Josh in either way? I mentioned that Josh is possibly the Bishop Keons. Where does that come in? Well, a couple of things. Back on May 3rd, now this was, of course, before Scale 90, before Saturday, just a couple of days after Choker. The user at BlurryCorpse_ on Twitter, user Maffer, posted this, and it blew my mind. Why is nobody talking about this? I mean, Josh's bandana is so similar to Nico's paint, covering half of his face. And just look at it. Look at the similarities. And I kept thinking about it. And Bestie Brittany comments also, his hood is covering his head the same way as well. Josh wears the bandana over his face like that in Fair Local music video as well. And then if we go to the live stream experience in the Lane Boy transition, my favorite transition of the whole show. Just when we figure out that the TV hosts of Good and Dema are in fact bishops, because they then appear with that face paint covering their face. However, for a brief moment in this transition, you get this. You get this yellow hooded figure of this bishop. Now, I have to be honest, I wasn't the first person who pointed this out. I saw it at my sound job earlier today when I was scrolling through Twitter as well, by user 21 at best, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce their username, but they posted, is this a yellow bishop? And I saw this image and I got intrigued, and when I got home from my other jobs today, I had to look for myself, and I went to the Lane Boy transition, went frame by frame, and indeed I found the image that we showed you earlier today, and it's all starting to tie together a little bit more. And we know that the bishops all have a song in the Blurryface album. Each one of them has a song. For example, Listo is Ride, Sakarver is Tear in My Heart, Andre is fairly local, and of course Keons has his own song, and that is Heavy Dirty Soul. And think about it, can you save my heavy dirty soul? And just think about it. Josh is always trying to save Tyler from Dema. Like, think Jumpsuit, think Nico and the Niners. Josh is always there to try to help. And we know that Keons is the nice bishop from the Journals of Clancy. And this gets brought up several times within Clancy's journals, and we're going to read a couple of these journals for you today. So the very first journal is the first one that brings up Keons, and this journal is 98806 Moon 18, and this journal is the first journal in the whole thing. It was uploaded on Josh Dunn's birthday on June 18th. So let's take a look at this. This is mainly going to be focused at this last paragraph here. Keons embodied the spirit of this dedication. Of the 9 bishops, Keons was revered, unwavering and forthright, possessing the ability to achieve focus that was rare for most of us in the region. We all admired him. We felt honored to be inhabitants of his region. While we heard legion of ruthlessness of other bishops, Keons possessed a stoic demeanor unlike anyone I'd ever met, and we were proud to serve. So now let's fast forward a couple of journals, and within this fast forward we get Clancy escaping Dema. And now this next moon, 01807 Moon 18, was uploaded during the Jumpsuit music video. And I quote, "The figure halted and waited. When the bishop stopped, I was sure he looked up directly at me, so I hid deeper back in the cave. The presence of this robed rider seemed to paralyze the man. He stood still as was approached, powerless, as the outreached hand smeared his neck. I had never seen Bishop possess power like this. Keons seems gentle and warm. This bishop, at least out here, seemed like something else." And of course, we know this bishop as Nico in the Jumpsuit music video. This is Nico and Tyler rubbing his neck with the black goo, with this black substance that also goes away later on in the video when the trance is broken. And now I move on to book 01901 Moon 22. This was released during the Chlorine music video. And in this moon, Clancy is back in Dema. He got pulled back into Dema, failed perimeter escape, and all. And this is what happens when he meets back with Keons. Keons approached me as the sun rose one morning. I wasn't scared, I was relieved. After all that he taught me, that his presence was the most comforting moment I've had in days, and I couldn't help but be happy to see him. In true Keons fashion, he wrapped his arms around me, then put his hands under my face, looked me in the eyes and said, "Clancy, child, let's go home." So we see that dynamic that we got between Nico, this ruthless, vicious person. Then we see Keons, who actually cares, who's sympathetic, who cares for Clancy. And this is definitely what Josh does for Tyler. If Tyler had to describe Josh as Bishop, hopefully he wouldn't describe him as Nico or Sakarva or anyone else. It would be Keons, because Keons is always there for Clancy, just like Josh is there for Tyler. And even that first book, the date that was significant when it was uploaded is Josh Dunn's birthday, and that's where we talk about Keons and how he is the nice bishop. That's where we first get introduced to him, as well as Clancy. So kind of congeals and makes sense. And now let's move over to No Chances. Now, when I heard this song, you can go look at my reaction video on the channel. My jaw dropped when I heard the bishops chant, "We come for you, no chances. We come for you, no chances." Now, there are a good portion of the clique that says that it's the banditos saying this and not the bishops. However, I respectfully disagree, and here's why. Let's take a look at this clip from the live stream experience. So YouTube blocked the video from the live stream experience, however this is the clip I was going to use. There's only 2 guys in the band! Who knew, right? I didn't know. Now I know. Josh, where are you hiding? Where are you? Come here, you little moron. Aha! Then they go in and quote No Chances in the clip right before they go into the song Saturday. They were all wondering where Josh was at. I mean, Tyler's been there this entire time. Where's Josh? Where's Josh? Where's Josh? Where is that moron? They get so frustrated because they can never capture Josh. They can only capture Tyler. And Josh seems to just be thwarting their every single plan. However, Tyler sends a message to Josh via mind control, or as him warning his friend by breaking free of this mind control for this brief little moment in No Chances. And this all comes within the second verse. The first verse of No Chances is just to bring you in, just to hook you in. That's why it has the Conor McGregor reference in it, and why I use the word feng shui at the very beginning. Let's take a look at the second verse. How'd you get the location? Did you put together pieces? They say they sell the information in those terms of agreement. Now, this could be a reference to many, many things. We can get super political with this. However, we're just going to stay in the Dema storyline. So, this could be a reference to the fact that Josh and the Banditos always seems to know where Tyler is. Think back to Nico and the Niners. Tyler kind of seems surprised that they found him within the city of Dema. And also, even more crazy, think back to Jumpsuit. Like, Dema, we saw, is this huge world. We saw it in the intro of Nico and the Niners. We certainly saw that in the overhead shots of not Heavy Dirty Soul, in the overhead shots of Jumpsuit. Like, it is a huge place. So they just find Tyler on accident, or did they put together pieces that he would be in this little ridge cavern sort of thing? Or did they buy the information he was going to be somewhere from this other source? Possibly the bishops in Dema themselves. And how did Dema know they were going to be there? Did they buy it from the same source? This is going to be something we can explain within a different video. However, the very interesting thing is this second verse. We spent weekends on the grind, surveillance is outside, we see when you arrive, ride or die, my son. Now, these set of lyrics are very important because Tyler repeats them twice, and the second time, it has that octave lower voice at the very bottom, and that octave lower voice gets louder during ride or die, my son. Now, let's focus on the first part. Surveillance is on the outside. What could that possibly mean? I mean, that they just know where the Bandito camp is, they know where Tyler's going to be at all times. I mean, certainly makes sense because, like, of course, Nico even found Tyler within the world of Dema. Like, he knew it was going to be in that ridge, which is pretty amazing. But then again, it could be a road that heads east. But they knew where the Bandito camp was as well, and that is pretty interesting. And we also need to think about, what is their surveillance? Like, is it one, like, I was thinking that possibly, like, they do patrols on the outside on some weekends, figuring out where everything is, where every possible route is, and even possibly using the vultures that we've talked about in the trench era, like on the album cover, we've seen the vultures. Maybe they are birds that are trained for Nico and the other bishops, or maybe they have security cameras, like this one right here, that they put on the very outside of Dema, and that's how they know when Josh and the Banditos arrive. We see when you arrive, ride or die, my son. Now, if you're not familiar with the term ride or die, that is basically young kids speak for that you're never leaving your friend. Your friend is your friend for life, and you're going to be friends forever, or you're going to die together. And Tyler is certainly Josh's ride or die. They are ride or die for each other. And it's very interesting that ride or die, my son. Now, pretty interesting thing is that, of course, Tyler is imploring Josh that, hey, come join me, you're going to be fine. Come ride this train of vialism with me. You're going to be fine. Or you can die, just like Clancy did. We could feed you to the dragon. Ride or die, my son. That gets emphasized twice. And there's a thing with my son. We can get back to that later if we really want to speculate. However, even look at the chorus when Tyler is singing. We want you home in one piece now. Josh, we want you in Dema in one piece. But you hear in the background, run away, as if Tyler is being controlled to say, we want you in Dema in one piece. However, he has enough strength to say, Josh, run away from here. We get bodies every day. As in that the bishops are trained to find people, much like Tyler in Jumpsuits. We want you home in one piece. And so if we take all of this and we put two and two together, we can definitely make arguments that No Chances is definitely about Josh, and Josh is definitely Keons. Now, why would Keons beat Josh if Keons is a bishop? Well, here's what I think. I think that Keons woke up. I think that Keons got sick of the other bishops. I think he got sick of how vialism was. He woke up and he's like, this isn't right. And I believe that Keons possibly even started the Banditos to get everyone else, because Keons seems like the person who wants the best for everyone, and Keons wants to make everyone free from this and free from Nico's grasp, and Nico has control on everyone, and Keons wants to rebel. He wants to eliminate vitalism and get rid of Nico's rule forever. Make Dema into this place filled with saturation, not like the artificial one that Nico is providing a skill nicely, but like actual happiness, more stuff going on instead of the same old every single day, more actual happiness, more not artificial happiness that Tyler talks about in Mulberry Street, but actual genuine creativity, imagination, and happiness. And that's what the Banditos are fighting for, why they are leaving Dema. And Clancy in this, or Tyler in this role, in this whole storyline, is basically this Christ figure. And we see this in the Shy Away thing, like Shy Away's music video set within the snow. And like the snow is there for this one shot. And like this dinner table is there for this last shot. And it reminds me and a whole bunch of other people of The Last Supper. And so basically, if we combine all this together, we get a heaven versus hell dynamic here of Josh / Keons being the heaven and Nico being the devil in this situation, with Tyler being in this purgatory or this Christ figure that has to, in Clancy, that has to sacrifice themselves to free Dema. And it's pretty interesting, and I was thinking about it all day, and yeah. Anyway, guys, that is basically all I have for you. I may have missed something in my excitement about this, but if I do, part 2 maybe, or I'll just let you know down in the comment section below. But let me know what you think of this theory. Do you think that Josh is Keons? Do you think that there's some other theory going on here? So who do you think is that yellow bishop in the live stream, in the Lane Boy set? Because that had to happen for a reason. There has to be a good bishop. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And yeah, I will see you later. Sorry, this is a lot, but like I said, I got super excited. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Goodbye, good night, but more importantly, have a good day. See you later.